What's going on, guys? Sean here, and today I'm going to give you guys a couple sharpening tips. So this is my ZT0562 Ti, and what I'm doing today is I'm actually reprofiling this because the factory edge was really steep. It was like 30 degrees per side, and it was dull all along here, right in this belly. So we're gonna take care of that by laying the edge back and taking it to 20 degrees per side. So we're dropping, like 20 degrees isn't necessarily laying it back like a lot, but it's gonna be much better than the 30 degrees. It'll be 20 degree inclusive difference, 10 degrees per side. So basically, when you're reprofiling, the most important thing is that you don't get frustrated and switch to the other side too soon. First thing you want to do is mark out your edge with Sharpie, like so. Doesn't have to be anything too pretty, because we're going to be taking it off with the stone. Now this is already reprofiled. I've spent about 30 minutes on it so far, but I want you to see something. Watch as I sharpen this. You're going to see it take away the marker from the edge completely and evenly along the whole bevel. Now, when you get towards the tip, you gotta be real careful. I stick my thumb right there, so it keeps this narrow stone from coming off the corner and tilting that way and taking off your tip. So, let's see here. Try to get you guys a good view here. The sharpening system that I'm using is the Lansky guided system. This is the deluxe 5-stone system. It's just aluminum oxide stones, nothing fancy. I think this kit runs like 45 bucks or so. I've had this kit for a long time, and I get really good results with this. I also have the Work Sharp Precision Adjust, and I try to use it all the time because it's easier to set up, and if it worked well, it would be quicker. See, the problem is the clamp on the Work Sharp does not hold your knife in here steady. The whole clamp flexes like that because it's slides into a plastic base and it just wiggles. With this, sorry, the camera's shaking, but I'm twisting on this knife right now. See, that might be able to move, but the thing that holds the angle is these holes. So these holes aren't moving in relevance to the bevel. So yeah, first I did this side. Oh, come on, let's get it to focus, guys. All right, so this is the first side that I did. Let me wipe this off. Oh, I keep hitting the camera. Fuck me. All right. See, nice even bevel. And what you see at the edge, it's a little bit of Sharpie from when I drew on this side. It'll roll over the other side. But what we're doing right now is we're checking for a burr. So everybody listen closely. All right, so we have a burr up here, ends right here, and then starts again back here. So I'm gonna mark where it starts and stops, and I'm gonna focus on this area right in here that we still need to get. Because as you can see, a mistake that's really easy to make is it will look, it will appear like all of your Sharpie is gone from the edge. But if I was, oh my God. If I was to get a magnifying glass, we would be able to see, let's see. Another thing is sometimes the Sharpie, it's so close to the edge where we need to keep going. It's like just almost there. Like it's so close. So the Sharpie can get wiped off that very last hair of the edge, even though you haven't completely formed your burr on the opposite side. The importance of forming your burr completely on the opposite side, which you can see it looks like a wire along the edge. That is my burr. You can see it there. You'll be able to see it up here. But along here, there's none there. And then it starts really faint right here. All right, but I want to get a complete burr evenly across this whole blade, not just barely a burr, because what will happen is you will go through all your progressions, and when you get to the end, you might have a spot in the blade that just won't get as sharp as the rest of the knife. And no matter what you do, you will not be able to get that spot any sharper unless you start over all the way from the beginning with your coarsest stone and reprofile everything down till it is, you know, perfect on each side and you are completely reprofiled. So if you're gonna sharpen a knife, get into this when you have some time to do it, not when you're gonna be rushed. And don't be afraid to take a break. So say I've been working at this for 30 minutes, it's still not going to be where I need it to be or where I want it to be, and that's okay. If I feel like this is taking too long or I start getting frustrated, the thing that you need to do is just walk away and go do something else for a little bit. And then, you know, after you chill, whatever, and you have some more time, come back to it and, you know, go back at it. But if you try to rush through the process, it's gonna end up being a waste of all the time and effort that you put in. And more importantly, your edge will not be optimally sharp. And you're gonna feel like, you know, I just, you know, tried and spent all this time and I just can't get it. And, you know, some people give up after that. And that is not what you want to do when it comes to sharpening. You know, if you're at that point, you are right there. You are, you know, you're almost there. So just keep on pushing ahead and take your time. Make sure you get a burr completely along this edge and you will get it. I promise. You know, it took me many tries and a long time to start getting sharp edges when I first started sharpening. I'm talking, you know, I was practicing at least an hour a day, usually several hours a day. And it took me probably a couple weeks until I started getting knives like sharp. And I thought that I knew what sharp was back then. Well, that was probably 2 years ago. I've been sharpening ever since. And guys, you will continue to get better along the way. It's something, you know, your body kind of teaches yourself, you know, how to get better. You get the feel for things, you adapt to it. And before you know it, you'll be sharpening like it's second nature and getting wicked sharp edges. And you'll look back, you know, to when you first started and say, damn, I thought I knew what I was doing then. But now, you know, my edges now compared to then, there's no comparison. And that's how it is. And, you know, 2 more years down the road, it'll be even that much better. It's all how much effort and how much time you put into it and not giving up. And that is exactly what you will get back out of it. There's no shortcuts. There's no, I mean, it doesn't get much simpler than a guided system. I mean, that's the biggest shortcut that, and the only shortcut that you can really take is the fact that now we have guided systems. So don't be intimidated. Get yourself a guided system, and you really can't fuck it up. You just have to be persistent. And you guys, I have faith in you. I'm sure you guys will be able to do it. So I'm gonna get back to this. Now I can see that burr all the way across. Now, the very back here, well, all the way through to there, it's very pronounced. Then, in here, oh, in here it starts getting lighter. Then we get back to more pronounced as we get towards the tip. Very pronounced out here. So I'm gonna go back to the other side, and I'm just gonna work this little spot right here where you can't really see much of a pronounced burr. It's just like the beginnings of it. So I'm gonna go back to the other side, work that spot right there a little bit, and then I will be able to be ready to flip it to the other side until the same thing happens again. And you're working back and forth like that through all your progressions. And if you do that, you will be fine, and you will begin razor sharp knives in no time at all. Here is my ZT 0562 Ti after reprofiling it to 20 degrees per side and finishing with 1000 grit ceramic, and then stropping on Beaver Craft leather strop with green compound. This thing got super sharp. And the system that I use to sharpen it with is the Lansky Deluxe guided system. It is not the diamond stone version. It's the cheaper version, which is like 45 bucks. It has 5 stones. However, one of my stones is broken, which is the coarsest. So my progression was 120 grit up to 1000, and then a little bit of stropping. I have always been really impressed with the Lansky system and the consistency, and just it's really good. This edge not only looks good, but it is extremely sharp. So now that this knife has a very well done sharp edge on it, let's see how this thing cuts.